Well, today it's a good day today because they've let me out into the showroom. Anybody watching our last few videos will notice that I'm actually speaking from a darkened room, and where they sit me in a corner until I actually make a confession that I have nightmares about gold £5 pieces, and I'm now going to rename our studio as Room 101. Now, if you want to know what that's all about, look at last week's video, and if you don't know where to find that, subscribe, then you'll be able to find it. So anyway, here we are actually in our showroom today, so there'll be some background noise which might disturb things a little bit. But the reason is we're going to show some testing on Niton XRF machines. We had two for quite a long time. One of them, that one I think, normally lives, which one is it? No, this one normally lives in one of the back rooms because people who are doing the real work are testing things as they come along. And one lives out here in our showroom, and we can actually just, a few yards from our counter, we can test them. So what we're going to do at first today, folks, I tell you what, we'll start out with a 2024 Gold Britannia. We'll probably show you a quick still of one. Now, which one are we going to, which one's hooked up? This one's hooked up to your computer. Here we go. We're going to put that on. We stick it right on the middle of that little bit. We drop that on there. We close the lid so we don't get any X-rays and we don't have to have a lead plate anywhere. And then we press the go button. And because we're being clever, this is hooked up and you can see the results as they're going through. I think I can point them out. Gold plate, it should say gold plating, not detected. Saying, oh, 24 carat, it showed 23.99 then. Gold content, 99.9%, which is what it should be showing. It should be 99.99. That's the tolerance, which it doesn't actually explain on there. It does when we, actually it doesn't on the machine. We write it down on our sheets. That's the 30-second arc. And oh, while I'm at it, I should say that a lot of people, when these come with the factory settings on, they're normally set with a default of 20 seconds to test. We've actually turned ours up to 60 seconds, which is a bit of overkill. And some people, quite a lot of people actually turn them down to 10 seconds because they don't really care that much about accuracy. If it's something like a jeweller buying scrap gold in, you just want to know, is this 9 carat or is it not? Stick it on the machine, in 10 seconds you can usually tell. Well, we're up to 60 seconds, so we've got gold plate not detected, 24.00 carat gold. Well, the carat bit's there for idiots. But what I look at is the AU 999 and 0.3. What's more, what happens if we, why am I doing that? Oh yeah, I'm getting a little didgeridoo out, because if we press this detail bit, we can actually get a read off, which you probably can't see on the camera, but it says 99.99, which is what we want to know because it's 49, fine. And it says the possible error is 0.34, which is every bit of a tested equipment's got error. If we put it on test for 5 minutes at a time, the main difference we'd get in results there is that error rate would go down. If anybody's into statistical sampling, you'll know that the bigger sample you do, the more accurate your results. That's what that's about. 60 seconds is long enough. Now, what we also do as standard is we actually test both sides of things. Again, it's a bit of overkill. We don't always have to do this, so we want to close that and we want to go back to test, so we're going to test that. While I'm at it, what I could be doing is, here I've got a 1987, which is the very first date of gold, 1 ounce gold Krugerrand. I'm going to put this on our other machine and I'm going to test that while I'm waiting for that one to test on here. And how old-fashioned, I'm going to move this. I've got a bad knee at the minute, folks. So, and I've got a bad knee because I haven't been skiing recently. That helps to exercise it. That's my excuse. I'm trying to get the doctor to prescribe me a skiing holiday on the NHS. So I'm going to write down on here 1987 gold Brit. and I'm going to write on here AU, and then I'm going to put, I don't know, yeah, CU for copper, and AG for silver, and we're up to 40 odd seconds. Now this one's finished testing, and there we go, gold plate not detected, 24 karat gold. So we've got 99.9 there, which is what we got before. I won't bother hitting the details bit, we can take that off. That's the result we expected. And if you're thinking, why are we testing a brand new coin that's hot on delivery from the Royal Mint, believe it or not, we test a sample of nearly everything that comes into us, whether it comes from the Royal Mint or wherever. Some of our warehouse team surprised me the other week because I said, how many percent of that delivery have you checked? And they said about 20%, which is an alarming number. It's probably higher than we need, but yeah, there you go. If it works, it's good. Which packet was that supposed to go in? Oh, I don't know. Back in there. I'll be in trouble with our warehouse team because they're keeping tabs on all this stuff. You probably can't see this, but I'm writing down our results here. Now I think for, and while I'm at it, that test is what I expect, 916. If I click the details on here, 9155, but the possible error is 0.28. I think if we add that error to this, it'll be well within the limits that we're expecting, and that's not because the coin's deficient, it's because no bit of equipment tests, 100.0000% accurately. You're always going to get some error. So I'm not going to test the other side of that. I'm going to stick it straight over to our other machine so that you can see the results for yourself. And again, I'm testing the obverse. Now what would be interesting here is this machine should give us the same results as this. It might not. And actually we'll put the 2024 on this machine while we're at it. Need to close that. And then we've tested both. That's going over there for now. So how are we doing on this one? Gold plate not detected, that's good. Gold 91.7 up to 35 seconds on that. But that is, it's at 60 seconds and we've got good results there, 919. Let's click the details just so we've got them. What we got there, 9185, we're expecting 9166666. That's pretty accurate. And the error there, 0.31. What did we have here? We had, oh, because I only wrote it down to 3 decimal places, which is what we only ever write it down to normally. Let's click that back. So we were getting 916 on this machine. We're getting 919 on that machine. That could be partly because we moved the coin a little bit, because we test a different spot on the coin, we might get a very, very slightly different answer. There might be a spot of grease on it, but that's very close. But it does also highlight the fact that you will get some slight differences, and that's quite interesting. We've got a 2024 gold sovereign, again, fresh from the mint. We'll bung that in the machine. And actually for the sake of time here, I don't think we'll bother doing the reverse side of this. The obverse should be enough. So, gold plate not detected. AU 91921. Well, it's reading slightly high at the minute, but 13, 14 seconds. It should start coming down a bit. Yeah, that's better. 919, 918. It's coming closer. If we're looking at the carat reading, 22.07. Countdown 007. No. 30 seconds. So if you're only testing for 30 seconds, you might think that reading's a bit out. 60 seconds, hopefully it's coming down. Oh, we've got a trace of silver showing now, which is interesting. And well, we're at 60 seconds. Okay, so we've got 919, which is just a tiny bit high because we're expecting 916 or 917. But if we look at the tolerance there, 3, if we took the 3 off 919, it could be 916. So it's absolutely within range. I'm slightly surprised at the silver content because usually the Mint don't put any silver in its modern sovereigns, and they do know my opinion of that. What we got on here, silver content, yeah, 0.08, so it rounds it up to 0.1% or 1 part per thousand. It's actually 8 parts per 10,000. I think I've got my zeros right. So that's why it didn't necessarily show up early in the test. So, as I said, we're not going to bother testing both sides of that, but what we're going to do, ask the people in our vault to bring me up an 1817 sovereign, and what do you know, they've only done half the job, yet they brought me up an 1817 half sovereign, which is actually good enough for what we're trying to do today. I'll just check, yeah, 1817, George III, it's quite nice. In we go, and press the magic button, let's see what we get. Now, this is going to have a silver content. What will be interesting is to see how much sovereign, how much silver we get in this 1817. For those who know a little bit about sovereigns, apart from the old hammered ones back in the days of Henry VII, Henry VIII, the modern sovereign started in production in 1817, shortly after the 1816 Coinage Act. And most old sovereigns, old in inverted commas, have got a silver content in and they look yellow. Most modern ones, or very new ones, haven't got any silver and they look a bit red and coppery. So where are we? Oh, here we're going. Yeah, a little bit gold plate not detected, absolutely standard. Showing nearly 22 carat, we're on it for 50 seconds. But 913, 914, we're coming up to 60 seconds. Go on, hurry up. Don't time go slow when you're having a good time. So, 914 plus or minus 3, so that could be as high as 917. Again, that's entirely within range. It's roughly what we expect. But I'm into, oh, look at that. 45 parts per thousand silver. That is surprisingly high. 39 parts per thousand copper, so less copper in than silver. That explains why it's a lovely yellow colour. We'll show you still a bit later. Showing a trace of iron? Yeah, well, okay. Gold refining in those days wasn't as accurate as it is these days. That is slightly surprising, but it happens. Do we need to test the other side of that? No, I think we'll shortcut that for now, because we've shown something interesting up there, the difference between the two. Just while I'm at it, I'll put it in there because I want to protect it from this, but that's so little iron, it's not gonna, even with a neodymium magnet, it's gonna show no trace of it whatsoever. Have I said enough for now? Yep, I think that's enough for now. Do I need to tell you anything? You're already subscribed, haven't you? Because I mentioned it several times, but if you haven't subscribed, then you'll see what's happening and you'll see next week's exciting video of me talking about something else. We don't know what yet. We'll have a think. You can request, you know, if you've got a suggestion for what you'd like a video of, put it down on a suggestions thing. If we look at the time now, you know, it's just on 4 o'clock on a Friday, and those who aren't staying for Fifth Friday are dashing off home early. They're doing something more interesting than me at the weekend. Hopefully you're all doing something interesting this weekend, apart from watching me on a video. So with that, I'd better say goodbye. See you next week, I hope. Emily, can I have a glass? Having just said that, people have turned up with the fizz. Here's Emily with the fizz, and here's my fizz. Cheers. And actually, well, it's nice and cold, but it's not very fizzy. Ah, what have I got? Chardonnay? Don't know. You don't know what I've got. It's not fizz. Can I have fizz?